big clash this time. We've got 2,500 points of Ultramarines versus Orks. It's going to be a big game, and we're playing Contact Lost on the Maelstrom of War table, and 6 objectives have already been placed, and it's hammer and anvil, so it's short end of the board to the other short end of the board, so narrow channels here. So as I say, the objectives are already placed. Got one just beyond this bunker here, just there, that's objective 1. There's another one almost dead centre of the table here, just outside of the superstructure, and then inside the superstructure we've got objective number 4, and outside of that, on this side, objective number 6, another just behind objective 6, and then the last one is in this makeshift silo here, objective number 2. So it's pretty much all objectives down the centre of the board here, but it is hammer and anvil, so it's going to be done in stages. So this mission, you can only generate a tactical objective if you control an objective. So it's a scramble for those objectives early, and you've got to stay on them to really be in the game. So it's a perfect scenario for the Orks to normally do well in this sort of mission. Going to try our hand with Ultramarines today. There's 2,500 points force here. It is the Gladius Strike Force, so we've got a battle demi company, and this has got the 3 tactical squads in as mandatory. So we've got a 5-man unit here with a combi plasma for the sergeant. They're in a razorback with a las cannon. I've got 2 units of 10. 1 unit has a flamer, 1 unit has a grav gun. The grav gun team has a veteran sergeant with a combi grav, and this veteran sergeant has a power weapon and a melter bomb. They both have rhinos, both with dozer blades, as has the razorback. Got the mandatory assault squad, so 2 flamers, veteran sergeant with a melter bomb and power sword, and we have the devastator squad, full 10-man unit, all with las cannons and a veteran sergeant. So leading the demi company, we've got the chaplain in Terminator armour. Haven't got the one in power armour painted up just yet, so he's going to be mooching around in Terminator armour. Don't know where he's going to go yet, but if you've seen the last battle, you'll know what happened to the 3rd company captain. That's why the chaplain is taking charge today while the captain recovers from his wounds. And we've got an armoured task force here. We've got the Ultramarine leading it with 4 servitors. He's got his servo harness as well. So we've got 2 predators, one's an annihilator, one is a predator destructor, and a vindicator with a added storm bolter. And also in the demi company we've got a contemptor pattern dreadnought. He's got the special assault cannon, and he's in a drop pod with a deathwind launcher and a locator beacon. And we've got a fly wing here. It's 2 Stormhawks. The nearest one here is the wing leader. He's going to be able to reroll armor penetration and 2 wound rolls of 1. We do play death in the sky, so these will not be firing on, well, with a -1 to ground targets essentially. And we've got another fly wing here because we'll have to make up the points from somewhere. And this is the Ultramarines we've got done. So we've got the Storm Wing, and the wing leader has to be the Storm Raven, so he's got the same trait as the Storm Hawk. So he's got reroll penetrations of 1 and 2 wound rolls of 1, so that's going to be handy. And then there's 2 Storm Talons. They're both the same with the Skyhammer launchers, and this has got the nose mounted multi-melter along with the las cannon. So I haven't done the Warlord trait yet, so I'm going to do that now. So what does the chaplain have? It's a 4. Okay, 4 for the Warlord trait is Storm of Fire. It's going to be able to select a unit, any unit within 12, and give them Rendon at the start of any shooting phase. So the interesting thing about that, it doesn't have to necessarily be an infantry unit. You could give it to one of the tanks. But against the Orks, I'm not sure if that's really going to matter all that much, but it might. So useful, I like it. We'll keep that because we'll have to. We can't re-roll it. So we'll go Storm of Fire, and that is 2,500 points of Ultramarines. Okay, another thing just worthy of mention, which I forgot to say, he's got the Primarch's Wrath relic, so It's a super storm bolter. It's going to fire 5 shots mastercrafted with shred, so it's going to be pretty good.
Right, so welcome to Waaagh Grukk, and there's Grukk there, the man himself, the war boss, the warlord of the lot, and it's the Great Waaagh band detachment. And the main component of this is the Ghazghkull mob. It's everything you can see here, apart from the stumper. So we've got a unit of knobs. And we have 2 power claws, got 2 big choppers, got some Scorcher, a Waaagh banner in there. They're riding in the battle wagon. It's got a ram and a big chute. And then we have 3 mobs of Orks, 2 mobs of 20 with shooters, led by a boss with a shooter, and 2 big shooters in each. Then we have a mob of 20 slugger boys with hard armour, and led by a boss with a power claw.
As you do.
And over here we have the hardware. So we've got an Ot, as you see there. 2 dreads. They've got all the arms that can possibly muster to snip Space Marines, a twin. And then 3 killer cans with, well, 2's got rockets, 1's got a big shooter, and the big boy himself, the Stumper, over here. He's got grot riggers, and he's got a couple of extra super rockets.
Right, the Orks have formed up. They were the first ones to arrive at the scene, so they are going to have the first turn. And it's that all familiar line. It seems like this is what I play against these days. It's just lines of eager warriors. So we've got the Stomper taking his rightful place in the centre of the army. He's going to cast out a 6-inch fearless benefit. So all these boys are going to be fearless. It's a big boon for them. And then he is flanked by machines on either side. So there's the 2 Death Dreads, and the killer cans are crawling over that silo. And on this side we've got the bigger machine, the Ghazghkull, and Grukk and his merry men are in the battle wagon. So there's a unit of 20 odd boys within the belly of the Stomper, and so they are all ready to go and push on through the battlefield. So the Ultramarines set up second. I've chosen to bolster this item of terrain, this corner piece, with the Marines, so they're going to have a +1 to their cover save. So it's set up shop with the Devastators. So we've got all the las cannons trying to get the best field of fire they can, and we're going to have to just take our licks when it comes to the big blasts, with the everyone being hit on every floor. So we're going to really grit our teeth when that moment arrives. But we've bolstered that cover. The chaplain's in there to make them fearless. That's our best chance of shooting down some vehicles, I think. So we've got the Destructive Predator on this side. He's going to just try and pick up what he can, and the 2 objectives in the middle are being claimed by various tactical squads. So we've got squad number 1 here. This is the one with the grav gun and combi grav. They have combat squadded, and the flamer and power sword unit are in this Rhino. They're staying as a 10-man unit. And the Razorback's camping out at the back. And then on this side we've got the Tet Marine. He's looking after his 2 vehicles. So we've got the Annihilator and the Vindicator. They are ready to try and hold this side. So in reserves are where the most of the Ultramarine force are. We've got the 5 flyers. Dreadnought's going to come down, and the assault group is going to deep strike in as well. So the important role is, can the Ultramarines steal the initiative on a 6? To 2, the Orks will go first. Right, Orks on the move, and big advance. There's going to be some, well, mostly run moves. I think it's only going to be the Stomper going to be firing. So the cans are actually staying still. They're going to claim this objective. The Orks have stringed out all the way back to this objective to claim this one, and the Stomper and all the vehicles have moved forward in the centre field to claim this objective. Now it's going to give them ascendancy, so it's already going to be D3 victory points to the Orks. Big push on this side from Grukk in his vehicle. He's going to get a good cover save behind that wall, and the Ghazghkull's on his way, and the Stomper's going to open up. If the Stomper can kill something with its shooting, then could get no prisoners as well, so this could be a very good round for the Orks on turn 1 alone. So it's just the Stomper ready to shoot. As you can expect, movement phase doesn't take that much describing. Just all the Orks move forward as Orks do. So have the Orks remembered to put the shells in the gun. Okay, some firepower coming in from the Ghazghkull and a few big shooters in the backfield, and the killer can actually contribute as well. Only managed 1 hull point on this Rhino. It could have been worse. Definitely could have been worse if we didn't get that mysterious objective to be +1 to our cover save. But that's the least of our troubles here. We've got the Stomper. It's going to open up. It's going to have the majority of its weapons at this Rhino, 2 missiles at this Predator, and then the big def cannon shot at the Devastator squad as well. So it's all going to be coming at us now. Right, the super shooter has got 15 shots in the clip for this one, so he's going to be hitting on 5s. So we go. Orky ballistic skill on the Rhino.
It's mega shooter, isn't it?
It's the big gun. Right, there's 4 hits. Strength 7. It's AP 3, so it's not going to be able to blow the Rhino up, so he's going to look to glance at the death. So strength 7, you're going to need 4s to glance against a Rhino. Right, there's 2 pens and a glance. So we'll do the glance first, saving on a 3 through the building, and then an enhanced cover save because of the mysterious objective. Saves the glance, the 2 pens. Okay, 1 pen goes through, 1 save. So what's the damage there? 5, so it's a weapon destroyed, so it's a stone bolter off, and it's got 1 hull point left. So first blood is teetering. You've got 1 super rocket going to be coming in hot. Right, so the Orks have chosen not to fire a rocket off just yet. They're going to fire the big shooters. All the targets have been declared, so it's just a matter of which one do you want to fire first. So he's chosen to fire all the big shooters off to try and chip off that last hull point instead of wasting a rocket. And it's enough so that is first blood. The Rhino is wrecked and everyone's got to get out now, and it saved itself final rocket. So still got the majority of the shots to, well, the rest of the shots to come through on this Devastator squad, and 2 rockets to come through on the Predator. We're going to have to disembark the Ultramarines, so the squad, combat squad with the grav guns is okay. The ones without, they are snapping for next turn, so they're going to have to emergency disembark. Right, there's first blood for the Orks then, and the Ultramarines have gotten out. It's this squad who are on snap fire because of the Rhino's damage. We're going to have to do a pinning test when it's finished firing. So big blast coming in. It's going to go right on the top of the Devastator squad, and everyone under the blast could be hit providing it lands. So we're going to see what the scatter is going to be. Go on. Oh, it's a direct hit. The Orks are on form today. We'll see how many are caught under that blast. It's going to be nasty. Alright, so the Stomper firing through. There's been 9 wounds on all of the Ultramarines inside, so we've got to try and save these. So there's 3 ordinary Marines to go before we get to our veteran sergeant. Oh, so 2 die straight away. We are saving on 3s in that hard cover, and that is our bolstered building. Right, so we've got 1 Marine before we get to the sergeant, so he saves. Saves again. Saves again. Saves. Come on, saves. He's on a roll. Oh, and he dies. So 3 Marines down. That's going to not be a morale check because we've got a chaplain in there to make them feel us. So the Stomper's blast also was so wide it's caught this Rhino as well. So he has penetrated, of course. Saving on 3 and it's a 5. It's good. No damage on that Rhino. 2 rockets from the Stomper were dedicated to this vehicle here, so they're going to go on the smoke launcher. It's dangerously close to the edge of the board. So first shot, it's going to scatter a whopping 10 inches, so that's going to fly off. And the next one is going to go not so bad. -2 off there, so it's going to go 3, no, let's do the maths, it's going to go 4 inches, that might go off the board. So a little portion of the inner circle was off the board, so that's not going to count either, so 2 wasted rockets there. The Predator baited it in and succeeded with absorbing those shots anyway. It's still got 3 rockets left, those are strength 8 AP3, so they're deadly to Marines. Right, so now we've got pinning tests to do because the vehicle blew up, so we've got this Sergeant squad. It's crucial that these stay standing because they've got grav guns that we're going to try and shoot at the battle wagon for next turn, so it's crucial that these stand, and they do on a 7. And the squad behind, see if they're pinned, it's not really going to matter to them, that's a cocked eye in that one. They're going to be fine as well, so still this unit is snap firing from the damage of the Rhino, but they're not pinned, so they can move. Don't think the grav squad's going to move, so they can get full-blooded shots into this battle wagon. Right, last moves of the Ork turn, we've got the battle wagon, moves flat out, getting a bit closer, and the rest of the boys shot, so it was just the Death Dreads who can run. Some terrible runs from them, 1s and 2s, so they don't go very far. But it's been a good turn for victory points for the Orks. They've got 1 for first blood, 1 for no prisoners, and now it's D3 for ascendancy. Oh, it's just a 1, but still 3 points in 1 turn for the Orks, and they're dominating the battlefield. I'm not sure what we can do against that Stomper, especially being on that mysterious objective that gives it +1 to its cover save, so it's going to be safe from those las cannons, I think. So it's on to Ultramarines turn 1. Right, Ultramarines moving around now, so the Devastator squad, of course, that is going to stay put. We've called it a tactical doctrine, so we're going to re-roll with our important grav gun and combi grav. We're going to try and shoot this battle wagon, see if we can immobilise it. This Predator stayed still. This Razorback's just pulled out from around the corner. We're going to try and get a trick shot off it, something aughty. And we need this objective, so we're staying within 3 with the Vindicator. We're going to score that one, so there's 1 point this turn. And we're going to drop a Vindicator shell somewhere amongst the Orks around here. And this Rhino's just starting to go on its way, but we don't want to get too close because this is the Waaagh Ghazghkull supplement. They can shift, so what we don't want to happen is Orks to cover that massive ground, because it's possible, and swarm the Rhino and kill everyone inside without any damage. So we've learned our lessons from the past. Right, so big news, the drop pod comes in right in the Orks deployment zone, so we're going to try and see if we can hold our own here. The Contemptor's gotten out, he's going to take cover behind the wall, and he's going to introduce himself to these cans here, so he's going to have to be on his best behaviour to come through this one alive. But there he is, so trying to split the Ork force up and trying to create some damage. It's all going to be down to the dice now, as usual. Right, the Contemptor Pattern Dreadnought has its debut, and it is pathetic. Doesn't do any damage to the cans, gets all of its hits but rolls 1s and 2s for the damage, so nothing there. The Deathwind launcher equally is bad, that scatters way off, of course, right into the middle of these 2 squads. Only kill off 1 Ork, but he did have a big shooter there, so there's 1 big shooter down. So we're going to hope that this Demolisher, it hits its target. So we're going to put it just here. We're out, so it's this one. It's just out of range of the Death Dread, but we're going to we'll say this again. We're just going to try and clip it anyway. So it needs to land somewhere near. So it's landed dead on target. So get this measured. Get this rolled for. Right, 2 Orks killed from the front. Because the shot is fired at the same time, we're just going to count that the Death Dread has the cover save of 5. So leave a comment if you think that's the right way you should play, but we're going to take it as a 5 save. I've already penetrated. He needs to save on a 5, which he does. So he annihilated 3 shots. We're going to have the Twinling turret in the red. So we need to hit here. Okay, so the 1 sponsoring hit, and strength 9 against 12 against the Death Dread. Okay, so there's a glance, so it takes a single glancing hit. I think we're going to have to take out 1 vehicle to get a victory point, so it's going to be the Devastator Lascannon squad now. We're going to fire down on it. Okay, so the Lascannons have got a clear line of sight down at the Death Dread, so we're going to do the Signum in the red. So 3 hits, sorry, only 1 miss. And again, it's strength 9 versus armor 12, so we're going to need 3s to do anything. Whoa, 3 pens. Going to see if we can blow that up, see if we can kill some orcs. And we do. What's the blast radius? 5-inch blast radius. There's going to be quite a few orcs in there. My big blast, then the 5 orcs die. I think there was about 14 wounds to go around, but 5 eventually die in the end. They do get a few 6+ armor saves, if you can call them that. So a big chunk taken out of this mob here, but they're still fearless because they are within 6 of the Stomper, so they're not going anywhere. But they have been reduced significantly. So that's all the fire on this side. The Devastator squad has done well. There's a victory point already. Okay, we're going to try for some success on this side. We've got the grav gun and a combi grav. We're going to fire at the battle wagon. We've played the tactical doctrine early in the turn, and we've also given it storm of fire from the chaplain. So just in case we can get some good random bolt guns, we're going to fire at the battle wagon. I'm not sure if it can even hurt it, even if they're end, but we did it anyway just to see what happens. So we've got the grav guns hitting on 3. Okay, and the tactical doctrine is in play. So all but 1. We're looking for 6s here. Not a sausage. So no mobilized result at all. So no rending result. No grav result, and the rending that were issued to them won't matter because the highest we can get to is 13 after we've done the maths. So the battle wagon still stands. This is frightening stuff now. We've got 1 las cannon, twin-link las cannon from the Razorback. I think that's just going to have to fire at... Let's do it at the Morkanaut, the Gorkanaut even, see if we can get lucky. So it's a hit. Okay, that's a good start as a pen. He's going to save on 5 because he's obscure. Oh no, he's going to be saving on 4 because these ruins are in the way. So on a 4, he's going to save.
Doesn't.
Right, slips through on a 2. What's the damage then? Oh, just a 1. So he's snap firing. He's going to get away with it. So damage is at a minimum for the Ultramarines on that first turn. It's not going to bode well for them. We did get a victory point for this objective here, and for destroying a unit, which is no mercy, no respite. So 2 victory points. The Orks, they got 3 in that turn. I think that's okay, but this next turn for the Orks will be devastating, no doubt. They're already nearly in amongst the Ultramarines. Alright, so Ork movement in turn 2 now. The Khans are seeking refuge in the silo. They've all found a nest, and they're going to stick on that objective there. So the Contemptor is going to have to do some keen work to try and get to these. There's a long distance, so the Khans are in a good position there. The real news is on this side of the board. All of the Orks are attacking this flank, so the Stomper is leading the charge as you would expect. He's going to punch way below his station and look like he's going to just slap some Ultramarines around, and closely in tow with the Ork machinery here, so they're going to just burst through the lines. There's no stopping that Stomper now. There's going to be more shots being delivered from this Stomper. It's going to go wild. So Ultramarines are looking very nervous here. Onto Ork shooting. Turn 2. Right, Ork shooting. We're going to have the Ghazghkull. He's going to snap off a few shots towards his predator, but the real work's going to be done by the Stomper. He's going to fire his Scorcher into these Marines, and he's going to fire the Death Gun into the Vindicator beyond that wall, and pretty much everything else is going to be hammered into this Devastator squad. So that's all the big guns targeted towards them and the big shooters. Okay, so far the Stomper has scorched out 1 Ultramarine here and 6 wounds with the super shooter on the Devastator squad. So I wish we could go to the ground and save on a 2, but the chaplain, because he's fearless, we can't do that, because that is our bolstered building. So we're going to have to hope for 3s here, because it's AP3 the super shooter. So I think we won't care if the sergeant dies here. So the first guy saves, second guy's died, the sergeant, he's alive, the sergeant's now dead, so these will go on, probably it's going to be a las cannon. Unfortunately the chaplain's not near enough to try and take it on his armour, but the las cannon takes that on a 5. So the sergeant and his friend, aka wound man, has died. Nasty. Right, the Death Gun, the Death Cannon even, is going to fire through the building onto this dice here where this Vindicator is. So he's going to try and clip as much as he can, and again it's on fire. It's just a direct hit machine, this. So he's got the Vindicator and the Rhino. So the Stomper gets a penetrating hit on the Rhino, so we need to save that on a 3. Oh, so it goes through anyway. And then the Vindicator, it only takes a glance. He rolled a double 1 for ordnance, or primary weapon, I can't remember which, but double 1s isn't good, so it's just a glance to save on a 3. Okay, that saves. Remember, that is our bolstered building. The Stomper's firing through. So what is the damage on this Rhino? Yep. 2. What's its AP, the Death Cannon? Okay, it's AP 1 from the Death Cannon, so it's going to be shaken and stunned. So it's good. Can't move, can only snap, but it's only got a stone bolter anyway. And the passengers inside, they're only snapping as well, but I don't think they've got a target anyway. So that Rhino has been silenced for a turn. Right, so the other super rockets, 3 fire through, try to target the Devastator squad as said, but they scatter and catch the Razorback twice, so 2 penetrations on the Razorback. It's not going well, but they're going to be saving on a 3 because it's obscured by the bolstered building. So 1 penetration goes through, and it's 2. It's going to stay 2, so it's going to be snap firing that las cannon. It's a shame. And then 3, a big blast scattered towards these Marines and caused 3 wounds. So they're going to save on a 4 in area terrain, but they are on an objective that gives them +1 to the cover save. So they're going to be saving on 3s at least, and 1 dies, so it's going to be the nearest to the Stomper. Alright, the rest of the Stomper fires its big shooters at the Devastator squad. He really wants to take care of these. 2 wounds achieved, so we're saving on, let's have a look before we get to the chaplain. Again, it's going to be the Devastator squad. The chaplain's going to need to move out if he wants to benefit. So 1 las cannon goes down, so we're losing men now, devastating to the Devastators. Right, the 2 snap firing rockets at the Predator from the Ghazghkull have actually hit on a double 6, so that's unbelievable work from the Orks this round. And what is the damage then? So are they going to penetrate? Need 5s. There's 1 glance, so dents the armour on the front. 2 more to go. But nothing's going to be able to hurt it this round. The Deathstorm Mega Shooter is only strength 6, so it's not enough to get to 13. And I think the rest of the Orks are just going to run, aren't they?
We've got some shooting here.
Oh, some big shooters in there, okay. Alright, so instead of running for these boys, actually a lot of them have been in shooter range. So there's been 6 wounds dealt out between big shooters and little shooters through this gap between the Helldrake, the Stomper and the wall. And it's targeting this unit here. So instead of just taking these on our armour, we are within 3 of this objective. So we're going to go to ground and save on a 2. So 4 for the wall, 3 for the objective, and 2 for going to ground. So we're going to try and save, because we're going to be charged by the Stomper anyway. So here we go. We're going to do these one at a time because we don't want to get to the sergeant because he's got a melter bomb. So we're going to have to try and look out sir when it happens. So saves, dies. So we're going to have to do look out sirs for the sergeant now. So we'll just do 2 of them. That's how many is left. Fails them both, so he's going to have to take these. And he's dead, and another Marine survives. So the people of note have died. So it's the combi grav with the melter bomb and the grav gun. So 2 Marines left. It's going to be a morale check for them because that is the last of the shooting, isn't it?
There's another unit there.
Are they going to target the same unit?
They're going to go for this one here.
Alright, so I'll just do a morale check for these 2 lonely Marines now. Right, they pass. And some more big shooters then on this weakened unit here. Right, so the shooters from this depleted mob at these Marines, 4 wounds achieved between the big shooters and little shooters. And that's horrendous roll. So 3 Marines die, so it's all going well for the Orks here, getting some ridiculous hits on 5s. Okay, so because the Orks have finished firing at this squad, we're going to do a morale check for this lonely Marine. And he stays, so I'm not sure why, because we've been doing really badly for armour saves in this department, so he's going to stay. I suppose that's good, he can hold that objective all by himself. And now we've got Grot missile launchers, so these are hitting on 4s against the Contemptor Dreadnought, so it's armour 13 I think, I'll have a check, but it's rockets first, see if they hit on the 4. Nope, don't even need a check. 2 misses. So it is actually, this objective is reroll 1s, but not to be if you roll 2s. So the Contemptor has another lease on life, he's going to continue. So devastating round from the Orks there, just absolutely brutal. Didn't even get any sort of luck there for armour saves against the Orks. Tremendous firing. Right, so the final moves of the Ork phase is the Stomper. He's going to charge this 2-man Space Marine squad, so I really feel sorry for them. They've lost the melter bomb sergeant to the shooters, and these are just too far away for a charge themselves, so it's all down to the Stomper again. He's going to be leading the charge, showing the Orks how to do it. He's shown them how to do it with the shooting, now he's going to show them how to do it with the assault. So he's going to be in, no doubt. That's basically an inch away. So the Stomper does what the Stomper does and just kills those 2 Marines. Just kills 1 in Hammer of Wrath, which is a wounder, because he only got 1 wound for his chain fist thing. So he just killed him before he stomps. And he's on his merry way now, consolidates a little bit, and he is now looking to munch up more vehicles and blue Space Marine. So we're going to have to hope for the flyers to come on. We're going to need some decent firepower to hold back these Orks in our next turn. So aside from that being a really damaging turn for the Ultramarines, the Orks have only been able to achieve 1 victory point for these cans in their little can nest. So that's a point for them. And although the Ultramarines got totally squashed in this area on both sides, we passed all of our morale checks, which means the Orks did not get a victory point for that. So at least we got something out of that, aside from getting hiding. But it's now Ultramarines turn 2. Need to make a good go of it, I think. Okay, so the Orks being Orks, they can't really count. So it turns out that they've got an extra objective. So there's 2 victory points for the Orks in that turn, not 1. Silly Orks.
Orks can only count 1, 2, 3 lots.
Okay, we're on to Ultramarines turn 2 now, so the reserves have arrived and they've all arrived, so we're happy about that. The fighters have came on from this side of the board and they're going to try and engage the killer cams. So we need to get rid of this nest because we need objective 2, and it'll take some heat off the Contemptor, just allow him to do other things instead of waste his life on these cans. So that's what they're going to do. The Annihilator's going to join in as well, just in case. This Demolisher, he's pulled up and he's going to get a big shot on the Stomper, I think. Right, this Flywing has arrived as well. We've just got on 18 on the board, and we're in a tank hunter formation just about. So we're going to try and take on the Stomper. We need to do something about that. It's just been too good. We've played a Devastator Doctrine as well, so we've got 3 las cannons. They're going to try and add their fire to the Stomper as well. So if we can do some damage on the Stomper, it may cheer us up a bit. And we've got a Snapfire and a las cannon from the Razorback to try and do that. This Predator, he's going to continue his battle. Oop, should have pivoted a little bit. It's going to do that now. It's going to try and take out a few Orks next to the battle wagon. Okay, so the drop pod that the Contemptor came down in has got a locator beacon, and we've beamed, or rather arrived from the Thunderhawk down out of sight, which is important. It's just going to allow us to try and boost our chances of getting line breaker and possibly take backfield objectives just to cause a nuisance. And more importantly, we're out of the way of the Stomper. We're just trying to play this a bit, trying to be tactical. That's what we're trying to do. Well, I mean, we could have landed a little bit, got a few flamer hits on these Orks, but I think in the end it wouldn't have been worth it. So it's down to shooting now for the Ultramarines. It needs to be a good round. We need to do some damage on the Stomper if we want to survive. The orders that have came through for the Ultramarines are woeful. Things like Witch Hunter and Harness the Warp, of course. Nobody has any sorcerers or warp manipulators, so it's back to worse for the Ultramarines. Can we make up for it in firepower? Right, we needed a good round for the Ultramarines on this side of the board, and we didn't get one. The Contemptors fired up, only caused a hull point on the first can, and then these 2 flyers, terrible performance for shooting with their -1 ballistic skill. I think even if they were shooting on the full ballistic skill, they would have missed anyway, just full of 1s and 2s. And this Predator fires its shots through, but hundreds of saves added on top of that only amounts to 1 can dying to all of our firepower. It's just not going the Ultramarines' way this game. Okay, so the Flywing here, it has it's been okay but not great. 5 hull points on the Stomper so far. We've still got a few more las cannons up our sleeve, and we've got a Razorback on snap. Let's see if that hits on a 6. Nope, it's twin linked. Nope. Right, we've got 3 las cannons. The Devastator's Doctrine has been put in effect, so we're going to have re-rolls. See if we can do some more damage. Okay, just a single hull point has been given to the Stomper from the Devastators, so he's on 6 hull points now. We've only got 1 more thing to fire, that's the Vindicator. We're just over halfway, I think, but the Stomper is going to have another turn up its sleeve. So we're going to try and fire a shell right in the centre of it from the Demolisher. So it's a direct hit. So strength 10 ordnance. Okay, that is going to be a pen. There's no save with firing through the gap in the building. So what kind of damage are we looking at? 5 goes to 6. It's only going to count as a glance, so 7 hull points dealt out. Not bad, but it might have been better. We did have tank hunters for these flyers. So expecting a good turn, but gonna have to suffer another turn of the Stomper. Alright, so the dying stages of this second turn for the Ultramarines, we're going to have the Contemptor. He needs an 11-inch charge, but he's going to have to dance through some Overwatch first, so we've got 2 rockets coming in. So no, it's a double 1. So in we go on an 11. We've got Fleet. Oh, we need this to be 6. We need it to be 6. And it's not. Okay, so the Contemptor, it was a 6-inch charge to the wall, then 3 up, and then extra 2 for going through cover. So it looks shorter, but it's actually quite long. You almost did it. It's got long legs, but not long enough. Okay, so the unstoppable Ork attack continues. The Stomper has politely moved aside to let all the little Orks through now. What a gent. So in comes the Ghazghkull. The battle wagon is now breaching. There's not many Ultramarines left in this sector. The Devastator squad with the chaplain are way up on high, so the Orks might need to bring the grappling hooks. And all the other Orks have just moved up as well. It looks like they're just going to add their shooters to the mix. Try and shoot down some special Ultramarines. They've only got one to kill in this sector before they free up that objective. And the cans stay put in their nest. So the Ultramarines going to have to weather another nasty round from the Stomper. And you might even try to shoot down some flyers. The Stomper is going to open up proceedings. It's declared all of its targets, and the first shot is going to come from the Deathstorm Mega Shooter. It's going to go on this Vindicator, so directly in the centre. And it's hit for the third time, direct hit. So it's primary weapon 1, so 2 dice, so it's strength 10. There's a penetration because it's out in the open. So what's the damage? AP 1, 3 plus 2 is 5, so it's a weapon blown off. So 1, 2, 3, it's the big cannon. It's the big cannon, so it is now a paperweight with a storm boulder. Okay, so the Stomper selects its next target. The Super Gatler fires up into the sky at the Storm Raven, so we opted a jink and it churned out 15 shots. It's jammed, so it won't be able to fire anymore, or it's run out of ammunition, so it won't be able to fire anymore, but 15 shots come soaring into the sky and then gets 3 penetrations and a glance. So lucky we did jink, because the Orks have just been on ridiculous blessings from Ghazghkull and Mork. So we're going to do the 3 penetrations to save on 4s first. Okay, there's the Emperor's blessings a little bit, so just 1 penetration and the glance saves that as well. So lucky we've got our saves there. So 1 penetration, what's the damage? 2, so it'll be snap firing, but it was anyway. And for his next trick he fires the shooters and twin-link shooter up at the Devastator squad. They've been basically his prey all game, so he's got 1 wound though, so the chaplain will have to save this. And of course that's why we filmed it, because I'll roll a 1, so he's taking a wound. So chaplain wounded, and with his command structure at the moment I think he deserves it. He's been given out paper instead of power armour to protect themselves.
He's got plenty of paper.
Right, so these Orks now smell the blood. Whoever could fire has fired up at the chaplain and the Devastator squad, so there's 4 wounds being achieved. So we're going to try and look out for all of these, because we don't fancy trying to save on our Terminator armour anymore. So all of the lookout saves have passed, so we need 3 armour saves first. Okay, 2 of them die, and then a 3rd armour save on power armour survives. So 2 last cannons drop and the chaplain lives on. Just.
Okay, so.
And then there's this
Ghazghkull.
Oh, it's a battle wagon going to fire, right? So the punishment continues. Right, the battle wagon and the crew fire up and achieve 2 wounds from the big shooter alone. So again, look out sirs for the chaplain. He passes them both. So 3 plus armor for the last cannon. He saves, and again, and he saves. What's next for this poor old chaplain? Okay, so the fun stops on the chaplain, and the last Marine here is killed to a few more shooters from the 2nd squad fight through the windows and bring him down. So he's now went to meet his brothers in wherever Space Marines go. It's that great codex in the sky. Right, the Ghazghkull picks out this Storm Talon as a target, so we jink. Everything, well, he gets a hit with the missiles and everything's going well, but not so good on the armor penetration. We've ended up with 1 glance from a big shooter, so we're going to try and save that on a 4 here. No, so it's a glance on this dainty little flyer here. 2 rockets fire at the Contemptor, but they miss again, so the Contemptor might be able to get in there next turn. The cans are starting to clatter with their worry. And it's now the last thing to do is it will not die for the Stomper. So on a 5+, it's going to regain a hull point. Go on. Nope, it's going to stay on 7 hull points. So we're just over halfway. So it's half decent turn from the Orks there. They're just setting themselves up for a big charge, I think. They've just totally wasted all the Space Marines in the centre. Chaplain's on a wound, he's teetering. And the fly is on this side, half of them are jingling. So what can the Ultramarines do to pull out some more firepower? I do not know. And we've been blown off objectives. Well, one objective, so still holding 2 crucially, so we're going to be able to pull 2 objectives in our turn, so let's do that now. So before we go on to the Ultramarines' turn, the Orks pick up a victory point in the centre here and 1 in their deployment zone, so the point's still coming in for the Orks. The Ultramarines have set themselves up for potentially what could be the best turn so far, but that's not saying very much. But we've played a tactical doctrine, 10-man squad have arrived, the back hatch drops down and these get out. They're going to rapid fire these Orks and we're hopefully going to take out the Stomper. If not, we're going to suffer a large blast, no doubt, which we do not want to happen. This jinking Storm Talon has moved over here. We're going to try and do a break turn. Nope, so that's just going to stay in that front facing. We've got the Vindicators came back to the Tech Marine and he's going to try and fix the gun up again. Almost forgot about that. And this Annihilator is going to fire through the wall at the Stomper. We need to take that out this turn. This Razorback, the Marines get out and then it moves back just so it gets an unimpeded shot on the Stomper, and that's going to give us a victory point just by staying on that objective, which is very needed. And then the fighter jets, they've moved over to engage the Stomper as well, so this one is going to be firing on. There's one flying high. Going to try our best to do what we can on this Stomper. This Storm Talon, it isn't jinking, so it's going to try and turn its assault cannon around. It's going to try and take out that Death Dread in the back, and that'll be insulting. This Storm Raven flew over here. It's already failed its break turn, so it's not going to be able to turn anymore. That's just in the bank for any following turns. And then the Patient Assault Squad comes out from behind the mausoleum, jumps 12 onto this objective. We're going to use our flamers and we just might engage the Orks, but that will secure us a victory point on objective 1 because we've got objective secured, so very much needed. And the extremely patient Contemptor, he finally makes it to the wall. He's going to shoot and then charge. He feels good about the situation. He can smell the Orks. So far so good. The Contemptor, he finishes off this can on his final hull point. There's 1 left. We're going to try and charge that when the time comes. This unit of Space Marines are going to fire a flamer and rapid fire with tactical doctrine in place, so these Orks are going to take a bit of piss. 6 dead in total for the Orks. I think it just might be enough for morale check. It could have been more, but they've got very impressive saves being in the crater and then a +1 to the cover save for that objective. Some 5s and 6s saves. The Orks just do it like it's no bother. So they will have to take morale check at the end of the phase, so that's good going for the Ultramarines tactical squad. Let's see if this Tech Marine can fix this gun on a 2+, because he's got lots of servitors with him. What do you know? Gun still out of action. Right, we're on to the Stomper now. So between this las cannon and this fighter, we've been able to take it up to 10 hull points, and we've actually got a penetration with the las cannon. So if we can just make this explode, we might be able to see it off. Nope, it's just going to be an extra hull point. So he's got 1 left now, and we've still got another fighter to fire, so we might as well do that now. We've got assault cannons hitting on 4s. And re-roll, that's a pretty good roll. Going to need that again, so they all hit. 6s, come on. No, we've got 2 missiles, cyclone missiles at it. Both miss, and we've got snapping Icarus autocannon, that's what it is. Icarus autocannon. So 6s because it's got Skyfire and it misses totally. Right, the last last chance to dance is the autocannon from the Predator is going to have a go. Come on. Right, he's been saving himself. He's got 2 hits. Strength 7. Oh no, that's a 2. And that's a 6. That is what we needed. It's gone. That is going to be an explosion. What kind of explosion? A big one. Oh dear. So this humble Predator finally does the job, and we forgot there's actually 20 boys on board there with hard armor, so they are going to take some devastating hits, and then it's going to explode, possibly, into the rest of the Orks here. It's not going to hurt the fly because it's flying, so we're going to have to get this resolved. This could be the turning point in the game. The Orks inside have been nearly wiped out. There's only 3 left, 17 casualties, and then from where this blue dice is, this needs to be scattered with a catastrophic damage. So it's going to go 3 inches forward, basically towards the flyer, and it was a number 6 on the chart, so it's going to be a devastating blast, so it might hurt the side of that battle wagon if it catches it. Right, so it's a lucky escape for the Orks. It only scatters 3 and it doesn't actually touch any of the models, so the Stomper has been dealt with. I didn't know if it was going to happen there. I'm so glad it did. So the Orks emerged from the rubble and ruin of that episode, and now they've got to take a pinning test. And they're okay, so there's a power claw in there. He's still alive.
And some morale check as well.
Yeah, it'll be a morale check. I'm finished on them, so it's breaking heads rule. Alright, we've just done the Orks morale check here as well, and on the mob rule it's been bad. They've had to run back, and so they're on their way home, and they're not going to be able to rally because they're below 25%. So they are going to go for a long run down the battlefield. So that's really, really good for the Ultramarines, getting rid of that Stomper. Right, this assault team, even with 2 flamers and bolt pistols, they only kill 1 Ork. I just can't explain something like that. 1 Ork. And this assault cannon turns around, shoots at the Death Dread in the back, causes 1 hull point. But the big news is this las cannon fires down at the battle wagon, causes a hit, causes a penetration, fails its cover save it had me, and now it's damaged, so this could be telling. So 3 goes to 4 because it's open top, goes to 5 because it's AP2, so it's a weapon blown off, so it is the worst result. And it's a big shooter blown off that vehicle. So big build up, small payoff. Right, the Contemptor Pattern Dreadnought, he's going to climb up the wall and punch this killer can in the throat if it has one. So he's going to do an Overwatch shot. Misses. Right, so he's going to make it up the wall somehow. 5 and a 1. We're going to reroll this because we've got Fleet. Okay, 8 inches, that'll do. He's up the wall. It's his debut. It's been touch and go so far, but he's now amongst it. Right, the can botches his attacks because he would be attacking first because the Contemptor does not have assault grenades, but misses because he's a scaredy little grot. And we've got 5 attacks coming back from the Contemptor, hitting on 3s, all hit. This is just basically shoot a thing. All pen, he's out of there. Even if it explodes, it's not going to hurt the Contemptor. So the Contemptor will consolidate 1 inch, so that's good enough for us. What that does achieve is, well, if you can just see, there's the objective. We're going to claim that objective. We've had that since turn 1. So the Contemptor fulfills his destiny, gives us a victory point. Right, we've got a charge over here from the assault team, and they're going to have to deal with a lot of Overwatch shots from this Ork conga line. The assault squad makes it in with no damage from the Overwatch. Looks like the Orks are running out of steam on the good dice, not a 6 in sight there. So the assault group are in. We wished we played the assault doctrine now, but I didn't think we would just make a charge at all, but with the desperate shooting phase, we're in now. We'll still get reroll 1s, but it's not going to be quite as potent as we wanted it to be. So we attack first. Okay, so couldn't went any worse for the Ultramarines here. Didn't even kill an Ork. Everything failed to wound, including the power sword, so nothing, absolutely nothing. On the good side of things, the Orks are so strung out, but not in the way that you would think. They're just strung out. And there's not going to be a lot to attack back, but I'm convinced that the Ultramarines are just going to lose that combat here. Very, very disappointing. It's a 6 Orks fight, equals 12 attacks, only 1 wound achieved, so no doubt I'll fill this armor set. And I do, so we've got leadership 9 from the veteran sergeant, and it's down to 8 now. And we just passed, so we will achieve the victory point, but we lose the combat, which is really, really embarrassing. So the Orks are going to pile in and they're going to get a fight in number. We're hoping we'll just get in there and just cause enough damage to sweep and advance them. Being all strung out in a line, they wouldn't all get a fight, but absolutely group of mongs. Okay, so with the Ultramarines finishing their turn, and we're glad that the Stompers came down, but the big thing is we've scored 3 victory points. So we didn't think we'd get a lot this game, but that might be enough to keep us afloat. We've got 1 victory point here for that squad here, and because the Contemptor did his job, we've got a victory point there. And even the assault squad did not do their job. They've got objective secured against the Orks being in Waaagh Ghazghkull. They don't, so that gives us that victory point there crucially. So we will get the points that we want. The Orks in turn 4 now, so the loss of the Stompers got the Orks enraged, so they've burst through the wall and the Death Dread is on his way. He's actually represented by this dice here, but he just couldn't get under that floor, so he's where the dice is. He's going to look to charge this unit of Space Marines here. But that's not before they get shot by these Orks. So if you've ever seen the trailer for the new Dawn of War game where Space Marine gets chopped up by the Death Dread, that's what this is going to look like. This battle wagon has deposited the knobs. So what's happened here is Grukk has actually split off from the mob. He's going it alone because the Orks have pulled Assassinate, so he's going to look to try and get up through the floors and take out the chaplain, which is a big possibility. These do wire every turn, so he's going to run. Didn't get so far on the move through cover roll, but he's going to run and then mount a charge. There's a good chance of that happening, and then the rest of his mob have split off and they're going to look to attack this squad here and dominate this objective. So the Orks are in good positions to attack now. Ghazghkull, he's stepping off, he's going to look to shoot down some vehicles perhaps, or he might, who knows what he's going to do. He needs to shoot something, and he doesn't want to reveal his rear armour to any of the flyers, so he's got his back against the world's end here. And these Orks do not rally on a double one because they're below 25%, so they're still going to flee all the way home. 3 little piggies run all the way home. So shooting for the Orks now. It's not going to be as good as the combat, but got some shooters over here to fire. Shooting for the Orks. These boys shoot into the Ultramarines, no damage whatsoever. They've run out of the luck. Didn't get a hit. The Ghazghkull opens up with all of its firepower and only manages to score an immobilised result on the Razorback. Almost knocks it out, but just couldn't get those 6s on the big shooter. So the Ghazghkull, well, it's done a decent job because these knobs are going to go in and crush these Ultramarines, but this Razorback is not within 3 inches of that objective, so being immobilised, it's done something. That's going to be annoying, having a Razorback so close to an objective and it being objective secured, so that is suppose it's a result for the Orks there. Grukk, he only ran 3 inches, so he's made it up a level. We've worked it out, he's got a 3 inches up and 3 inches along, and then +2 for the cover, so he's going to have to mount an 8-inch charge to get to the chaplain. So he's going to have to get his running shoes on. These knobs did not fire, they're just confident that they're just going to go in there and mince up these Ultramarines. And so man, I don't think these Ultramarines have got a chance. Right, so the first of the charges, the Death Dread gets in on a big old charge there. No glances from a grenade being thrown. The knobs are in. They take 1 wound from the combi plasma from the sergeant, so did some good work. It's the only shot he's going to get off with it, and now they are doomed, truly doomed. And Grukk, he's going to try and dance through some Overwatch here on the chaplain. I mean, technically they can't see each other, but we play the floors of buildings as if you can see each other. It just makes it easier to get your charges off and stuff like that. Don't want to make it too complex, so we're just classing it as you can see each other through the floors. You just got to accept that there might be some holes in the floors and things like that. So we're going to Overwatch with the chaplain. He's got the Primarch's Wrath, so this is 5 shots. Okay, he's got 1 hit. It's master crafted, so we'll get a reroll 1. Wow, 2 hits. It's got shred as well, so we're needing 4s. Actually needing 5s against the war boss, so we're rerolling these. Nope, no sausage. And then the last cannon from the top floor, gonna shoot down. He misses. Right, so Grukk, he's gonna need an 8-inch charge to get in here.
Here we go. Waaagh! Oh, go roll a 2.
Gonna need a 4 here.
Come on.
Reroll because
We do it!
He's in on a 10, so he's gonna take on the chaplain.
Go and get some.
Right, this could be pivotal, points wise. So the combat with the combat squad is quickly resolved and decisive. The knobs just turn them over, only take a wound in return, and they consolidate 6 inches into this building, so they're going to be protected from any shooting. Right, the Marines all step up and try and plant the crack grenades. We don't play the silly FAQ where it says you can only plant 1 grenade, because that's just daft. So all of them try to plant grenades, but no success, no 6s, and he's free to use his 7 attacks now. So he has 4s, that's not a good roll, only 3 hits, 2s to kill. Right, that's pretty bad from the Death Dread, only 2 Ultramarines drop. So we'll take the 2 bolt guns. Oh, in fact, you've got a Hammer of Wrath attack as well. So you've got a Strength 10 attack. That should have happened at Initiative 10. So it is a wound. See if you can get a 3rd. No, armor save. Right, so just 2 Marines go down. I'll just do me leadership test now. So we are on 9 from the Sergeant, down by 2, so almost 7. Right, we'll fail that. That's actually good for us. Bad for the Orcs. So initiative roll off. It's a 1 for the Marines. We might get tied in here after all. That's a 5 from the Orcs, so we are going to be tied in. So just when we're just about to slip away, he collars us. Okay, this combat, it's handbags at dawn. Nobody scores a wound. Again, the assault squad just cannot even kill a single Ork. And the Orcs, luckily, wounded on 5s because they were charged. They can't kill any Marines, so did well on the armor saves, nowhere near what we needed for damage, and the Orks just continue to flood into that area, so they're going to have more and more attacks the more Orks close in, and looks like they're going to have the full squad attacking next round probably. So this assault squad definitely had the chance, but it's not been enough. But they're still holding that objective, luckily, being objective secured. Right, so we've got this combat to do. We're going to have the chaplain attack Grukk in a challenge, because we do not refuse challenges, and we're going to have the las cannon. He's going to try and smack him in the eye with his las cannon or something. So we'll do the simple Marine, even though he's not in the challenge. Nope, Marine misses. Oh, he's got Zealot because of the chaplain, how could we forget. So he's hit once, he's going to need a 5 against Grukk, and he does. So Grukk's got to save on a 4 because of his armour, and he does. No bother there. The Terminator Chaplain's only got a measly 2 attacks with his Crozius, so here we go. And he gets them both, no reason for Zealot, and he's strength 6 against 5, so we're going to need 3s to win. 2 wounds. Now he's going to have to do 2 feel no pains here, because Grukk does come with feel no pain. So 5s. Right. 2 wounds on Grukk. He's only got 1 left, but now it's time to return the fire with his nasty power claws. He's got 5 attacks on the charges, and he is a beast.
Can you pass that, Dennis?
Yeah.
I'll move.
And so 5 attacks hitting on 4s, because the chaplain has the same weapon skill. Right, he's got 3 attacks. You've got an attack squig, so you can reroll one of them. Right, they've all hit. And you're wounded on 2s with shred. Nope, you got extra. No, that's right, you got 4 dice. Right, so the wound on 2s. And then shred, so important, there's 2 1s in there. Grukk giving them shred with face-rippa. Right, all of them succeed. So 4 wounds to try and take on the chaplain's iron halo. And if he even...
He's already got 1.
Well, it doesn't matter, it's insta-kill, so even if he was on full wounds, it would insta-kill him if one of these goes through. So 4s saves.
Looking good.
No, it's not.
No, he's not.
So he's dead, and so is the other Marine. So it's a clean out from Grukk. That's going to be major points awarded in there. There's Assassinate and Warlord Kill. It's going to be a handsome amount. Right, with the death of the Warlord Chaplain, Grukk just moseys on to the edge of the building just to get a lay of the land, so he's now free to do whatever he wants. And with that, that's going to be 3 points. 1 point for Assassinate, 1 point for killing the Warlord, and the other point was failing a morale check with these Marines, although they were eventually locked in combat. So another good turn from the Orks to keep on getting victory points in 2s and 3s. So they may have lost the Stomper, but they haven't lost the gumption. They continue to be a nuisance, possibly even the death of the Ultramarines. Well, probably not even possibly, they are the death of the Ultramarines so far. Wreckage and ruin everywhere. The chaplain doesn't have to put up with that anymore, he's went to a better place. Right, so it is the Ultramarines' turn now, and things have changed. We have got orders through for domination. Now normally you sigh and go, oh no, not domination, but here is a chance to get it. Biblical proportions here. So the Contemptor's moved down from this building here. He's going to claim this objective just here. This Storm Talon has now gone into hover mode. He's going to try and blow some Orks away from the objective. If that happens, then that's freed up that objective. These have got objectives secured, so we can claim that one, providing we don't die in the combat horribly. This Rhino, it's got objective secured, so it's burst through the wall. Going to take this objective, no doubt. About that one. And this Storm Talon, again, into hover mode. Going to take this objective, and we're going to try and see Grukk off with shots from that. Shots from this Predator. Let's see if we can do some damage against him. He's already got he's on his last wound because of the damage from the chaplain. And this has gone into hover mode, and we're going to try and shoot down this Ghazghkull. So we are in double dice multi-melter range. So it's set up for a good one here. We've played the tactical doctrine, see if we can plant some grenades on the Death Dread again with that squad. So it's all about if I can kill enough Orks here to secure domination. Right, so Operation Kill These Orks is underway. The Contemptor fires at them, they go to ground and manage to get all the saves but 1, so we only killed 1 Ork. But we've got quite a lot of hits from the Storm Talon, so all 4 from the Assault Cannon and 2 wounds from the Skyhammer missiles as well. So he's went to ground, he's going to be saving on 5s because this objective gives him a +1 to his cover save. So here we go then, so saving on 5s, this is crucial. I may have overestimated their saving ability here.
So we're gonna do less saves on him.
Right, okay, so you've
do
got
3 at a time. How many you got? 6? So the
6.
3 at a time.
So he's failed 1 lookout, sir.
Failed 1 now, so take that one.
So no, he takes a wound, and then just do another 3 lookout, sirs. He's filled another one, so he's going to have to save on a 5 or else he has been shot down.
Gone.
Nope, the knob is dead, that's crucial. And then there's 4 wounds to save them that were passed on. Saving on 5s. It's crucial. Right, there's 3 gone. That is enough to take them, to strip them away from the objective. So that surely is going to give us domination. Exciting times. Right, Attack Marine's next up. He's going to try and fix this vehicle again. He's going to try and repair the gun so we can fire that and the Predator through the windows at the knobs inside. So we're using a red dice because he's from mechanic and he might roll, well, dare we give it the kiss of death and say anything but a 1? That's a 3. So he's repaired the gun and it is effective immediately. So we're going to fire both these tanks through the wall at these knobs, I think. Or might work because we don't want to blow up that rhino. I think we might have to second guess this. Because they're right there. And we do not want to scatter onto the rhino actually. Might have to fire at the battle wagon instead. We'll figure this out. These 2 vehicles fire through the wall. Lads cannons at the knobs and demolisher at the battle wagon. No damage because this is the bolstered build and so saving on 3s. Just got all saves there. Right, we're going to have the Storm Talon. He's going to fire at Grukk. So he is again in the bolstered build and so he's going to be saving on 3s, but he is on his last wound. So we've got the assault cannon and it's 2 unlinked. Okay, 3s to wound, so his toughness 5, and there's 3 wounds. So he's got 3 wounds to save on 5s, and then he has got his feel no pain as well, just in case. So 3 wounds on 3 wounds.
He's going to go to ground.
He's going to go to ground. Okay, well, there we go.
2s.
What a wimpy orc boss. He's going to save on 2s then.
He values his life. Here we go.
Right, he's rolled a 1, so it's a fail no pain or he's dead.
Go on, Mr. Grukk.
Nope.
Doesn't do it.
So that's Warlord for Warlord. He does kill the chaplain.
Topples.
He dies less honourably than the chaplain. But that's how the Ultramarines do business. So 1 point for the Warlord. Good. So we've reached the end of the shooting phase now. The Ultramarines have scored some good hits. So this Predator has been on fire all game. It kills the knob with the power claw. So we're 1 power claw down. This Storm Raven, that's what it's called, shoots down at this Gorkanaut and gets an immobilise result and an extra hull point. So he's on 3 hull points and he's stuck where he is.
It's not shooting.
So that's fine with me. And then we do power of the Machine Spirit. Hurricane Bolt is down but no damage. So everything's lined up for domination. All we need to do is hope that this damned assault squad does not die in combat. All we need to do is make sure that this end flamer survives. But I'm not sure how I feel about that. I'm not very confident with them after they've just had 2 rounds of doing nothing. Could this be the time to impress is the key. Right, the assault squad is bucked up its ideas a little bit. The sergeant finally able to cause a wound and kills the knob with 2 clean hits. So the knob's dead and then another orc drops. So there's 3 wounds in total dealt out to the orcs, and then the orcs return in a big tide of 24 dice and cause 4 wounds. So this is absolutely crucial that we save, well, I want to save at least 2 of these, which means that we'll be able to win the combat, or at least hold on if we fail just 1. Right, 2 die. We're going to win the combat by 1, but we're definitely going to hold, which means my guy with a flamer who's going to contest that objective will score it. So we're going to take these 2.
Could get drawn into the knife.
He could. Oh, that's a good point. That is a good point indeed. Never thought about that, right?
That's why I took him.
Right, so it's a morale check then for the Orks. They're down by 1 in the combat. So the leadership's 7 without a knob.
Okay.
They're down to leadership 6, so they pass. So that is really not helpful. So it's going to have to consolidate back in. So that's stopped us getting domination, and that has ruined the entire thing. Right, in this combat, we played the Tactical Doctrine, so we'd get re-rolls with our crack grenades, but it still wasn't enough. We only caused 1 hull point on the Death Dread, and then he kills 3 Marines. So we're down in the combat by 2. Maybe we can drop out. No, we're going to hang on, and we're going to stay in certain death. So these knobs are ready to join that combat, no doubt. So really disappointed that we're not going to get domination, but we will get some points at least. So the final rolls of the turn, this Ork squad here passed the morale check, so they continue to just lurk in that centre field. And it hasn't been all doom and gloom, even though we didn't get domination. We're really pushing for that, but we did get a lot of points anyway. We've got Honour the Chapter, which is kill someone in a challenge, which finally the assault sergeant did, so he got that one for us. We've got Slay the Warlord, so that's 2 points, and then we've got Kingslayer, so that's D3. So we got 2 points for that, so we're up to 4 points now, and we get Hold the Line, because we've got 3 units in our 12-inch deployment. So that's the Flyer, the Razorback, and the Predator. So there's 5 points in total in that one turn alone. If we've got domination, that could be a record for how many points, but alas, domination eludes us. Right, we're at Orks turn 5 now. It's getting interesting. The Orks aren't able to pull any objectives this turn because all the objectives are either in the Ultramarines' possession or not held. So the knobs are going to have to do something. They've burst through the wall. They're going to look to try and take out whatever they can in this portion of the board. They've got the tools to do it. Even though they're 1 power claw down, they've got a lot of big choppers and high strength weapons. This combat will continue. Can't do anything with these Orks in the backfield. They went to ground and this unit fails to rally, so they drop back. This one's locked in combat. The Ghazghkull is still immobilised. So the other big news is this battle wagon has come bursting through the wall, and he's going to do a little ramp. There must be a little ramp or something there. He's going to sail through the sky and do a flying headbutt on this hovering flyer here. So he's going to do a strength 9 ram attack, and there's nothing we can do about that. Can't predict these auty things. Right, the knobs here, the fire a scorcher off and a few pistols, able to kill 2 servitors, so that will be a morale check for the Ultramarines at the end of this phase. And the Ghazghkull, he fires all of his shots and finally kills this Razorback, so he is now not contributing that last cannon anymore. He wasn't really anyway, he was missing all the time, even though it's twiddling. So he is finally being shot down, to the Orks happy. And then we've got the flying headbutt to do with the big truck. So it's a strength 9 hit on armour 11 for this flyer. Here we go. So that is a pen, and the damage is a 1, so it's going to be snap firing. So that is still significant. Snap firing flyer. In fact, on further revision, I forgot that this has already got a hull point, so it's actually been flying headbutted out of the air. So it's a hull point to death, and the Orks are pretty pleased with themselves about that.
Yay!
Right, so at the end of the shooting phase, we've got a morale check to make for the Ultramarines on leadership 9. and he passes, so they're now going to be charged by the knobs. Is it a split charge on the Ultramarine and the Predator? So it's not a split charge, he wants as many attacks as possible. So just a straight charge on the Ultramarine and his unit, so we're going to kick up a wall of flame with the servo harness. Okay, we'll take that as a 3 unless you've got a problem with that.
No, that's okay.
Right, so there's 2 wounds, saving on 4s. Right, there's a knob dead to the flamer. That's the boss knob, that's a bit weird. And then we've got the tunneling plasma gun on the servo harness, because you can fire 2 weapons. And that's hit as well. And that's killed the other Ork, because he's already got a wound, that centre Ork. So that is devastating Overwatch. And the Orks are going to have to roll the charge range now, so it's going to need a higher charge, I think.
Was it 9?
Let's see what the dice is. Well, that's a 9, so they should be on in that. On that, should I say. So in the go. Right, there they are in the fray then, so the Orks, or 2 of the Orks will attack first with the big chopper and the Scorcher, because all the servitors have servo arms, which we will use because they're classed as power fists. And the Ultramarine's going to go last because he's going to use his servo harness, so I wouldn't be surprised if they both kill each other in this combat. Alright, the 2 Orks, they kill the 2 servitors off, and save has to be made for the Ultramarine, so he does actually save that. So now it's a fight to the death. Now we've got the servo harness and this very dangerous power claw. So just do the Ultramarine here. He's hitting on 4s. He's only weapon skill 4. He's hit twice. That's crucial. Come on. Right, there's 2 Orks insta killed. So it's the one in base to base, which has to be the power claw, and then the next in line is going to be the big chopper. So there's the best of the Orks killed by the Ultramarine, but he's got a, well, he's definitely going to die to this power claw, isn't he? So Orks power claw, he's got 4 attacks. He's got a better weapon skill, so he's hit basically all of them.
Pretty cool.
He's hit all of them. 2s to kill, and the Ultramarine is killed. So almost killed each other. 1 Scorcher remains. Alright, this combat turns out to be a really stubborn combat. The Death Dread just isn't getting the dice. He's only killed 2 Ultramarines, and the Ultramarines put on a hull point as well back to him. Really wish this was the sergeant with the melter bomb, but the guy with the melter bomb is long dead. So that fight will continue if the Ultramarines can pass their morale with a -1. And they do, so we hang on in that combat with that Death Dread. That's a tough old fight, this one. Okay, so this continuing scrum in this crater, the Ultramarines have killed 1 Ork, and they're going to have to take 3 wounds in return, so it's pretty crucial, this combat. And we'll pass them all. Unheard of in this game for your Ultramarines. So the Orks are down by 1 in the combat, because there was 1 kill to the sergeant with the power sword, so they're going to have to take a morale check on a 6. This could be crucial. It's a failed morale, so they're going to have to roll on the mob rule. So it's a 6 plus 2 because of the Waaagh Ghazghkull supplement, so we'll get to see what that is now. So after mob rule kicks in, crucially the Orks did have more than 10, so they have hung on, but with the breaking heads rule they start fighting amongst themselves, and 5 Orks die in that one. With the Ghazghkull supplement it's D3 plus 3 Orks have to take strength 4 hits, so almost the lion's share. 5 wounds and not a save in sight, so the combat ability has been severely impacted with that mob rule, but they have hung on, which is the more important thing. People forget the good side of the mob rule. So no points there for the Orks. That is a crucial round for the Ultramarines, with the Orks going quiet. They're starting to run out of units now. This is the only objective that they could try and score, but this Predator is just within 3 and contests it to these knobs. So the knobs, if they did a split charge, I doubt they would have beat the Ultramarine, so I think they did the right thing in the end. They're just going to have to hope somehow, with a miracle, that this Ork survives if they want to claim that objective in the future. Strength 5 on the charge, so he can take out tanks, so he is a problem, but not that big of a problem. Right, the gig may be up for the Orks in this turn. The Ultramarines have pulled a pretty good hand, and with the Orks not getting that objective last turn, they needed to score that twice. So the Ultramarines are now on the front foot with the all of the aircraft are now starting to make an impact. So the two fighters return because they flew away last turn. So this one comes on from this angle of the board. It should be a bit like that, but he's going to target this knob. Surely he should kill him. And then we've got las cannons from this Predator trained at the side of the battle wagon. We've got Demolisher at the side of the battle wagon. We've got this fighter at the side of the battle wagon. The goal is, if we can take that battle wagon out, this Predator will turbo boost onto that objective, and then we might have another go at domination. That would really see the victory through. This Rhino is going to stay in this area, objective secured for that objective. Again, it's going to stay put, holding that objective. So is the Contemptor. There's an objective in the missile silo, and this is going to badger the Ghazghkull again. So we've played the Assault Doctrine to try and win this combat once and for all, and if we do so, we may consolidate back onto that objective, and then we might get our hands on domination. So, shooting phase to commence. This battle wagon is going to take the brunt of the Ultramarines. Okay, we're going to do all of this in one shot because a lot has happened, and it's plainly obvious what would happen. So the Contemptor finishes off these two Orks. That's one squad succumb to the damage. This knob was killed by this returning flyer, and the battle wagon finally went down, but only just, to all the firepower aimed at it, and then the Predator turbo boosted onto that objective, so that's going to secure us there. This Ghazghkull was blown up with the multi-melter, just one shot needed, so Ultramarines are now entered into efficiency mode. And then this falling back unit of Orks was finally dealt with this Storm Talon. And we've already done the combat, so the combat with the Death Dread, he killed two Ultramarines and they did not put a hull point on him, so they're going to have to take a morale check on an 8. And they failed, so they're going to actually run away. So I'll just do initiative roll off for the Orks, that's 1, and the Ultramarines, it's a 2, so the Ultramarines get away 3 inches, so not too far. But the crucial thing is, although the Death Dread has won that combat, even if he consolidated back, this Rhino has objective secured, so the Ultramarines would still hold this one. And the crucial part is this combat has already been resolved. We've already done that. The Orks score no damage, and the Ultramarines are able to kill 1 Ork, so they're going to have to do a morale check on a 6, and they pass. So that's crucial, because that's not going to allow the Ultramarines for domination again. So I had that set up. This Ork squad has been proven to be so annoying for the Ultramarines. If only, that's 3 times we've been denied domination. Right, so for the end of this turn, the Ultramarines are going to score 2 points for holding objectives 2 and 4, which are around this portion of the board, and they've scored overwhelming firepower. So 3 units did die, so it's D3, just a 1 point. So 3 points for the Ultramarines in that turn, but we're just going to call it there for the Orks, because the Orks scoring no points in that last turn has really hurt them badly, and they've run out of units. It looks like there's not a lot they can do, and the Ultramarines flyers are basically go uncontested. With the Stomper going down so, well, it wasn't early, but going down when it did, it allowed the Ultramarines back into the game. It was looking like doom and gloom for a long time. I think unit of the game for the Ultramarines has to go to this Predator. He's done some fine work. I think he was the one, I'm not sure if he killed Grukk, it might have been the flyer, but what he did was give a final shot with that auto cannon and blew up the Stomper, so he gets awards for that. And he killed a knob with a power claw. In fact, the Contemptor was pretty good as well, but I'm going to give it to the Predator because none of my Space Wolves or Dark Angels Predator do that sort of thing, so he gets a thumbs up.
Alright, so for the Orks, I think Grukk did a stellar performance there in running across all that debris and up with that building and taking out the chaplain. Just wasn't enough Ork units to go around to hold the objectives, and with them not having objectives secured, it was a really difficult job for the Orks after the halfway point. Pretty stupid leaving the Orks and the Stomper as well. I didn't think they would they would have got taken out at that particular point. Lucky shot from the Predator, auto cannon, an NS6, NS6. What? I think that should be the Star Ultramarine unit.